And all is set for our first game here today when we have the first 2 points on the board quickly. And we will have the doctor to assess the starting lineups.
Well, San Miguel not just starting with his usual lineups. They have some defensive players there in Art de la Cruz and Rabanes. So obviously what San Miguel would like to do is to put the clamps there on the scoring of the first 5 of the Presto Ice Cream Kings and try to get the points either from Agustin Fernandez or their import Callaway. Now, Callaway has not been given a lot of respect. If you look at his statistics, it's not really something to crow about because he's the lowest in scoring and the poorest in rebounds. But, well, he might just be what the team needed or ordered as far as the doctor because of the way he plays a team kind of ball game, no?
And definitely a contrast, if we are to listen to the stories then that went about, a stark contrast to the previous import, Derek Chivas.
Of course, partner, I'm a fair person and I don't like to talk about things that I don't know about, you know, because
Yes.
a third party telling a story could be a different thing from reality, you know?
Which is the agony of the communication process. And we have inside action. Score is tied 4-all. Presto hoping to be a spoiler here, and as Dr. J pointed out at the top of the broadcast, hoping to gain access into that battle for third spot. Out of the running, though, for the final seat.
That's right. Presto can really do 2 teams a lot of good, and that will be Alaska and Shell if they could come up with a victory tonight. However, was that De La Cruz?
I think it was, yes, De La Cruz.
And he has 4 points in the ball game now. Both of them are through drives down the baseline, giving San Miguel a 2-point lead, 6-4.
2 minutes are all set to go by in our opening quarter. Kaidik is in a bind. Nowhere to go. Forced to pass way out. Mosqueda with an awkward drive.
And
defense chewed him up there.
We have a fast break play. So 2 non-starters, although Rabanes sometimes does start for this team, has 6 of the 8 points of the Beermen, and limiting the Presto Ice Cream Kings to only 4 so far. Kaidik getting 3 for this jumper, and it's a good one. You know what I think Kaidik has lost? Has never been a shot. You don't lose that if you're a shooter. I think it's the jump, the high jump that he has, and the intensity of the jump. No? Now, medyo parang inaalalayan niya yung talon, although he does not have an injury there. No? But I think...
How has it affected his all-around game, Dr. J?
Oh, it certainly has affected his game. There is no question. From a guy who probably should be the top scorer local that is in this conference, he has gone down to about 10, 11 points per ball game in the last few games. And a guy can shoot 20, 30, can even have 40, 50 on a good night. So that does hurt. No? Even the fact that he is a threat has been minimized because of his misses coming especially from the 3-point territory in the last few games.
And consequently, the chances and the fortunes of the Presto Ice Cream Kings have dipped just as well. You know, a lot of people say it is not Alan Kaidik's team, but we've seen that when he dips, somehow the team goes along with him. This is a connection from the side. Ato Agustin with his first pair.
Well, you know, they always talk about it's not somebody's team, but can you imagine Chicago without Michael Jordan? No,
I am trying to.
I don't think they'll get 60 wins. No? Another thing is, that's proven with Magic Johnson. The team now is struggling. LA is struggling for a playoff berth for the first time since he's come around.
Absolutely right. And remember the Celtics when they deteriorated after the season of 68-69.
Well, that is Alan Kaidik is a genuine person to go to, and he's a leader. No? And when you miss the leader, there are a lot of things that can happen. We have a blocking foul here called against Kaidik, I think, or is it Mosqueda? Mosqueda.
And by the way, the gentlemen in charge of the whistles are Ledesma, Bartolome, and Shua.
Okay, Fernandez isolated there against Villalubit. There's a double team.
And a little too strong for Ramon Fernandez as we dash off to the other side.
10-8 is the count. Still a 2-point lead here for the Beermen. Jerry Span had a very good game the other night and would have probably been the most valuable player if Presto could have pulled that one out. But
yes,
they
sir.
lost it. And we have a blocking foul now called on Callaway, a hand check foul. No?
Foul Callaway.
Many great performances on the Presto side. It's just that they are unable to win that Jollibee Award because they are unable to deliver the big goods at the end.
That's right. Or the coup de grace.
Kaidik is being set up for a shot, but Rabanes is all over him. Rushes moves aside the defense, twists in the air, gets it to drop.
We have seen a lot of miraculous shots that it's no longer a little miracle. It's just become an ordinary happenstance here in the PBA. Remember that fall-away shot when he was down and
Yes.
he still made it. Got it. Look at this one, though, and the ball decides to go in. There are some good breaks there for the Presto team, but the breaks at the end game has not been kind to them. No?
Yes. And I remember the KP at the half feature on Tank Collins. He said that he may not be the highest scorer or the best producer, but he is going to beat the others with athletic ability.
Did they win that game? They lost it.
Against Swift, they won that one.
They won? Because
won
there are
that one.
very few games wherein we have a KP at the half with that person and that their team wins.
Oh, yes. Mahirap na
That's a
equation
tip
din
to
yan.
you. That's a tip to you.
And now that gives extremely hard situation for our producers who may not be able to get some of the
5
interviews.
seconds shot clock.
Okay, 5 seconds on the shot clock as Callaway was trying to maneuver. Ball falling off a little bit, and that's a very poor defensive play because you should really be able to meet somebody coming out of the pick on the strong side and at least bother his shot.
Callaway has a decent shot from the outside, but as you pointed out, not exactly the most prolific of scorers, but he gets the job done.
Well, he is a natural guard player, so obviously a guard will have good perimeter shooting, especially, you know, in Jana State. It's not an ordinary athletic program. You must be...
Well, they don't really like basketball.
So I really believe that most of the players that we get coming over to the country have pretty good medium-range jump shots. No?
Okay, Dr. J, we're winding down to 6 minutes and 43 seconds. San Miguel with a 1-point lead. Kaidek manages to wiggle free, but the shot won't go.
Still a 1-point lead, as you mentioned. San Miguel 12, the Presto Ice Creams 11. On not too many team fouls given up here in the early goings of the first quarter.
Alan Kaidek telling Callaway, try and shoot over me. He did, but didn't get the shot.
Well, Callaway should have driven against him.
Yes, better option.
Okay, this is a nice drive here by Collins, but he misses it.
Juan Fernandez with a slight distracted move. Ato Agustin swings it over to Art de la Cruz, who goes straight to the hole, and alongside with him was Gerald Desplana, who now tries to pick himself up.
Foul Esplana.
Watch it again.
De La Cruz also drives to the hoop strongly. These two guys used to play with each other, and they know each other also in the amateur ranks before Esplana moved up. And, well, Art de la Cruz got 4 points all on drives through the baseline. He has opportunity to increase that through the 4.5-meter line.
And kept close watch on the career of Art de la Cruz over the last 3 or 4 years, and he has made quite an impact doing his specific role with the San Miguel team.
Yes, well, Norman picked him up. There were even reports at the time that he would be picked up and then traded off to the Ginebra San Miguel squad. But when he saw a 6'2" player who has that kind of talent, he said, I'm not giving him up.
Yes, and who made the adjustment from power forward to off guard. Meanwhile, inside action, Collins trampling upon Ravanes.
Collins had to run a maze there, and, you know, a lot of bruising action underneath the basket there. San Miguel challenging the inside game of the Presto Ice Cream Kings in this first quarter.
Not too much pressure on Presto to go all out for a win here today. On the other hand, San Miguel pressured to win in as much as the race for the 2 final seats. Oh, getting extremely tight as we sail along. Meanwhile,
Foul Realubit.
Real Lubit is charged with his first personal. We will have our first timeout. Cap missing his first gift shot. 5 minutes and 26 seconds to go.
Well, Seb, during that timeout, Jimmy Mariano was able to bring in his rookie, Joey Valdez, who has not seen action for quite a while, and giving him an opportunity here, coming in to replace Cadel Mosqueda.
Valdez used to play for the A&W Root Bears in the PBL. Drafted this year. Alan Kaidek shakes free, scoops the shot, gets his own miss, goes up once more, misses second time around, but is fouled off the second try.
Foul Ravanes.
Ravan is guilty of his first.
Kaidek holding on to his knee there, but he's about ready to take his 2 free throws.
trigger man. Cuts down the San Miguel lead to just a point, 15-14.
And could tie it with his second free throw. Kaidik looking for his fourth point.
We're down to 5 minutes and 6 seconds. We have a squared up ball game, 15 all.
Nothing exciting so far here, except of course the shot of Collins on that reverse layup earlier.
Big question, as you posed earlier, has the fight been taken out of Presto at this juncture, while San Miguel really pressured to win, given the situation of the race for the finals. Meanwhile, Joey Valdez sends it back to Esplana.
Tries to post up there against Fernandez, and Esplana doesn't think it's a good matchup. Sets it out to Kaidik, and another good rebound here for Callaway.
One shot for Presto. San Miguel is off and running. Ravanes not facing the basketball. Mon Fernandez thought that Ravanes was prepared to receive the pass. Agustin with the spin around, having difficulty with his spins this afternoon.
It's a nice stop there by Esplana back to a teammate because he couldn't control that rebound.
Collins decides to wait for the rest of the gang. The applause is due to the fact that Norman Black has asked Samboy Lim to stand up.
You know, that place must be very slippery. A lot of people are going all over that place, going down like bowling pins.
And giving our mop man, our rag man here, so much more work, especially over there at that eastern basket. Meanwhile, Samboy Lim checks in for Ravanes. Onchi de la Cruz steps in.
For Gerard Esplana, we'll have Art de la Cruz doing the honors of the inbound.
Callaway. Valdez taps the ball out.
And was successful in at least stopping that drive of Callaway. Of course, San Miguel will continue to have possession of the ball, partner, with 19 seconds on their shot clock.
2-point lead for the Beermen. Juan Fernandez momentarily open, changes his angle, and delivers nonetheless.
4 in the ball game now for Ramon. 2 out of 3 from the field, back to a 4-point lead, and that's the favorite move of Collins, going to the right with a lot of momentum. And he's one of the best in doing that 100 dunk shot. Now, the way he can hold on to that ball.
And we've seen that so many times, beating his defensive man with a dribble. Agustin working on the far right side.
If you're a San Miguel fan, Franz Pumaren will continue to miss this ball game, and that's the reason why you see Agustin acting as the point for his team. No? Fernandez has 6 now, and that's one of the reasons why Abe King is also sitting there, because Abe has been doing a very good job on Fernandez in their past 2 encounters.
Juan Fernandez, the all-time leading scorer of the PBA. There's Alan K. Dick. Jammed, and Agustin fouls it. Checking that, it is on Callaway.
That's right. Number 2 now on Callaway. Ria Lupin is being replaced by Abe King, and De La Cruz being replaced by Ives Dignadice.
Timeout, Andy. You heard it. We'll be back. Welcome back. And Ives Dignadice, who is playing heads-up basketball in the conference, is seeing action. He is going to work together with Agustin Fernandez, Samboy Lim, and Callaway.
A strong offensive unit here for the Beermen on the floor, but they only have a 2-point lead courtesy of that jumper by Collins. Samboy Lim gets away with a finger roll, gets Collins looking, thinking that he was going to the right.
In the center, Mr. Boy Codinera watching some basketball action.
Oh, that'll be the 3rd foul now on Callaway as Abe King made a spin to the baseline, and that certainly put a damper here on San Miguel's chances. There you can see the foul given up by Callaway. 3 already, and we're only in the 1st quarter.
Yes, and that forced Norman Black to pirouette along the sideline. Alan is jammed. Taking it away with Samboy Lim. Alan, a picture of frustration in that last sequence.
Oops, a very tight pass there by Fernandez that went through Onchi de la Cruz through the hands of Samboy Lim.
And Samboy was a snapshot of frustration on the other end. That happened so fast.
Bounce pass that was real hard and low.
We're down to the last minute and 50 seconds of our opening quarter. Oops. Callaway. Gone away.
Nice dunk here off the steal. Joey Valdez moving to the top, but not coming out to meet the ball, and that's the reason why there was that easy interception.
Alan K. Dick has been aching for a long-distance connection. Abe King, this is a good dish-off on a set play.
Nice pick and roll. And when he rolled, some of the Bearmen came into the picture, but they knew it would be useless to foul him. He would probably make the shot and have an opportunity for a three-point play. So they gave up the 2 points.
And now San Miguel maintains a 4-point edge as we wind down to 1:10. Onchi de la Cruz too close for comfort. But wait a minute, I think it is a foul away from that particular
Foul game.
situation. It's a foul on Abe King, rather. It's first.
Kaidik. Callaway.
Kaidik is now being replaced here by Peter Howe, and Alvin Teng coming into the ball game for Callaway, who, as we mentioned earlier, picked up his third foul. And this is still a potent team here for San Miguel.
Yes.
A very potent team if you talk about the all-Filipino.
Samboy Lim was in uncharted waters there. He just decided to slam it against an opponent so that at least they could retain possession.
17 seconds on their shot clock. Exactly 60 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Samboy. You know, even his long shot seems to have such strength that it rattles the rim.
And if you're here, you could really hear it, despite the fact that we have earphones.
Yes.
We can hear.
Pass inside. Joey Valdez, fouled by the veteran Ramon Fernandez. Fernandez will be slapped with his first.
Well, you can see how a point guard can help you, as shown for Valdez in this play. If he's going to throw you the ball and give you the opportunity to work on one of the best players in the land, then he's giving you the chance to gain some confidence. And Valdez did not fail Onchi in that play.
Valdez, as you said, has hardly seen any action, seeing action now only in his third game as a Presto Ice Cream King.
I haven't seen his father, Bobby, for quite a while. Pero kamusta ka dyan, partner? Tagal kita nang hindi nakikita.
Remembers PBL and all.
Yes,
always there
always
watching San Joey.
So supportive.
Yes.
It's a nice cheater.
Quiet support. But nonetheless ever present. Oh, Ato Agustin drills it in. This is a healthy bunch.
Only 13 seconds left, and there's going to be a foul from behind called against Alvin Teng.
And compared to the early goings wherein the team fouls were not being issued or being given up so quickly, and now we find San Miguel with 7, Presto on the other hand with 5. Here's steal by Dignadice. Look at that change of direction by Frank Collins, and what gives?
A loose ball foul call here, but that really got the Presto bench up there, because when Collins drove to the basket, there was a foul. He was banged up, accidentally, but that caused him to miss that shot.
Ives, as if he had all day to shoot. This first quarter is a part of PBA history. Onchi de la Cruz. Quick pass off to Valdez, who was distracted by Ives Dignadice's long tentacles.
That's one thing Valdez has to learn, is how to maneuver himself in the 3-second area and not just take a shot for granted. He could have had a good 2 points there or gotten a foul. Ato Agustin calling his teammates to set the right picks. It seems that they were going in different directions.
Defensive lapse apparently by Presto. They got a break there as the shot misfired. Apatow, by the way, seeing action for the first time. San Miguel Beer still going all Filipino in as much as their import. Ricky Callaway saddled with 3 personal fouls in the first period.
But Presto not making any headway because of individualistic type of play, as shown by De La Cruz, driving against big men. There are 4 of them.
Unfortunately, Presto seems to be falling into that particular trap. Meanwhile, Samboy Lim is given a clear lane inside. Got a foul as well, plus that bucket.
Peter Howe will give up that foul. And we'll have Romy Lopez come into the ball game here for Agustin. Well, I think that's the reason why I see Toma Cruz there in civilian clothes. He might have been reverted back to the inactive status, and Romy Lopez activated from the reserve status, because realizing that they will not need a big man anymore with the lineup they have. They will need a guy who can play point from time to time.
And of course, Romy Lopez offers them shooting whenever he can gain a clear view of the hoop.
And tough defense.
Absolutely. You know him, Dr. J.
He's a compiler. Called him to the office a couple of times.
Yes.
But he's a nice fellow.
Plays hard, but He's here in the pros, trying to make his mark again. 32-22. Oh, Senor Madogan is at the on the screen with attorney Jimmy Javier. Al is back on the radio coverage.
That's very nice to see. Remember, Al had a fracture of his elbow. And a tight pass here results in a blocking foul called on Peter Howe.
Foul.
Of course, Al Mendoza, the pride of Mangatarem, Pangasinan. I put emphasis on the Mangatarem simply because that place is absolutely delicious for other mangoes. Samboy Lim shot from afar, nothing there. And what gives? We have Ivestig Nadise with a smile on his face there.
A loose ball foul here. A big 10-point lead here for the Beermen. The Presto Ice Cream Kings have been nailed to 22 for quite a while now. It went back as much as the first quarter, no?
Sharp eyes as usual, Dr. J. Presto has yet to score in this particular second quarter, which is already 1 minute and 57 seconds old.
And there's a loose ball foul on Fernandez. Pushing up against Valdez in that play. That will be number 2 on him. And number 2 as far as the team fouls for San Miguel Beer.
Apatow's pass picked up by De La Cruz. Inside 10 minutes rather now. Shot clock is reduced to 15. Splitting open the inside was De La Cruz, and the big man crashing the boards.
They're not really big if you look at them in height. About 6'3" for Abby King and 6'2" and 3/8 for Import Collins, but they can really get up into the air. And both of them are broad-shoulder players. Fernandez.
Oh, yes. Juan Fernandez is off to a good first half. 8 points already. Onchi has this agenda on his mind. Attack, attack, attack. King is there. He brushes aside everybody, and Ivestig Nadise ends up holding on to his face.
He's down on the floor too as Abby King goes over to him and tries to help him up. Are you all right? And obviously there is the response. Okay. Abby very frustrated in this play. Going up against some big men. Coming in here, using that left hand to ward off.
Valdez.
And then it's Valdez who got caught with the foul. Huh?
I think so. Okay, so Joey Valdez will move out now. Cadel Mosqueda is back in the ball game. Setting the rosters for you, we have Lopez together with Alvin Teng. Dignadice is there. Samboy Lim together with Mon Fernandez. San Miguel going all Filipino. Nothing off that shot by Lopez. Abe King pitches it over now to Tank Collins. Tank with a drive. Succeeds.
When he goes to the right, he's really very difficult to stop, no? Especially in open court basketball. Good leaper, holds and controls the ball well with his right hand. 34-26 is the count. Presto really must get going while the import of San Miguel is sitting down on the bench, no? But here it's a guy that's been very difficult for them to stop. And Peter Howe has picked up 3 fouls here.
Foul.
Samboy Lim clinging on to that basketball as if he were using it as a vine to swing from tree to tree. And imagine that. He got 3 fouls off Apatow, who could not get things going. Meanwhile, Padim Israel is in definitely for defensive chores as well. Samboy Lim. Hopefully hoping for an injury-free season after sitting out last year. Samboy Lim now makes it a 36-26 count. This is a repeat of the biggest lead of San Miguel Beer. Seb Sarmenta together with Andy Howe. And that 10-point lead is their biggest advantage with 8:36 to go. Here's Abe King. Dignadice with a good defensive tap, however, recovered by Presto. Short stab, no. Dignadice is everywhere on the floor.
And San Miguel doing a very good job at boxing out people from the boards. First of all, they gang up here on Collins, and you can see a lot of red shirts jumping up there. No way a white shirt could come over unless you go over the back of a player, and that would have meant a foul.
You know, Andy, Ives Dignadice is providing San Miguel a little of everything on both sides of the floor, although there is a miscue now by San Miguel. Tank Collins wants to get high up into the air and dunks it in.
Simple dunk for him. 200 reverse, cutting the lead down to 8. Collins has been the principal scorer for Presto here in the first half of play.
Norman Black looking on. Samboy Lim applying the
Skidding.
brakes. Yes, but the brakes didn't work that time.
And he was called for the traveling violation. Padim Israel has been assigned to him after Peter Howe had no success against Samboy Lim. An opportunity now for Presto to come a little closer.
Archie De La Cruz stepping on the gas pedal. Abe King is inside, but the finger roll is an air ball.
Well, kaliwa yun, you know, and
That exactly his shooting hand, and
in a different spin there.
yes, he tried his best. He knew where he was, how close he was to the basket. It was just that he had to use the wrong hand. Look at this play. That should qualify for a Gilby's choice play.
Well, the San Miguel team, yes, I agree with you. San Miguel has been using that play a lot, and you cannot just look at Fernandez, especially when he has his back turn. You got to look at your man cutting in.
One thing nice about San Miguel is that some of the plays that they have been using have been plays that they have utilized for about 3 or 4 years now. It's just that they know it so well, and they know the options that they can apply once the other teams check it.
That's right.
Here's Lopez shifting directions. Blocked.
He was in trouble.
Yes, he was up against 3 defenders. Padim Israel. Onchi snaps from 4.5. Long. Padim Israel will fake. Fire. Samboy Lim getting a slice of it. Juan Fernandez. Romy Lopez. Wide open. Nothing there. Sambo, or rather Tang.
And we have a loose ball foul here on Abe King.
Francis Rodriguez will be Cathy De Leon's halftime guest. We'll talk more about that after this timeout by Presto.
Presto Ice Cream King.
Samboy Lim's attempt is too long, regains it, scores it, and taking a different route.
And Collins has come back to the ball game, but obviously San Miguel has gotten the lead without him. 12-point lead now. Kaidik, by the way, is also back in the ball game here for the Presto Ice Cream Kings. Shooting that one over Lopez.
Andy, I was just about to say that, you know, VERGEL Meneses has not been fielded in this
but
ball
he's
game.
there. I saw him
He's
earlier.
there.
Yes.
Down there on the floor. 40-30, just suddenly I know that somebody was medyo kulang sa rotation. Anyway, here's Dignadice with a spin around. Success.
This is what Collins likes, but he wasn't able to stop it. He couldn't control the ball. Slipped from his hands. Nice play here by Padim.
He pitches it outside, sends it over now to Collins, the chairman, and they complete this Rayaban fast break.
Ooh, Abe King with an elbow there before getting the shot off, making sure that the defensive man wouldn't come to him. Protecting his shot. And 4-0 plus here by the Presto Ice Cream Kings gets the lead down to 8.
Callaway trying an escape route, but meanwhile referee Ledesma spotting a foul. Mosqueda, the guilty party, with his second, and that is now Presto's 7th team foul. We are at the 4:59 mark.
Okay, we have Agustin, partner, coming back in for Romy Lopez. Lopez couldn't really act as the point very well there, except get the ball to Samboy.
Callaway. Jimmy Mariano looking at his unit. Attack. Kaidik, triple, first try from that sector, nothing there.
If that had gone in, it would have been a big morale booster for Presto. That would have given them a 7-0 run. And the fact that Kaidik can hit 3 points certainly will give them a lot. But a comeback here on the other side on a drive by Ato Agustin.
Ato Agustin has that uncanny ability of using that dribble of his to beat his defensive man to go straight for the hole, and suddenly the lane is suddenly just wide open.
Well, he has a sudden burst of speed, which many people do not give him, but when he drives to the hoop, he goes there strong. And he's also a pretty good defensive player, as shown in that last play against Kaidik, no?
Francis Rodriguez, who has just been appointed as the national youth team coach, will be Catherine De Leon Villar's halftime guest. We'll check on the latest on Francis Rodriguez. Meanwhile, there's one sinks for Padim Israel. Some pretty faces in the crowd.
Padim Israel going coast to coast there. One of those big guards of the PBA at the time, probably uncontested with his height, no?
At that time, yes, indeed.
Started his career with the Crispa Redmanizers.
Foul kay Dick.
Kept on moving. Had his last, had a championship also with Tanduay.
1986. 2, in fact, of that year. And meanwhile, we have Ato Agustin visiting the 4.5-meter line.
Well, the Presto Ice Cream Kings are in penalty with 3:37 to go, while San Miguel has managed to keep its team fouls down to only 2.
Don't forget that later on tonight, our stellar attraction will be Alaska going against Shell.
Alaska is also on a roll here and needs only one more game to assure themselves of at least a knockout, but could even go to the top with the last 2 games if they can win them both. Who can tell? No? Besides, the last 2 games are against Shell and San Miguel, the tough teams. No?
So each game now for these top 3 teams emerging as must-win games. Alan really jammed. Has been begging for a foul, can't get one. Ato Agustin, nothing there. Abe King, Alan K. Dick, still smarting from that contact earlier, manages to get it inside and is going to get a foul finally.
A nice fake there underneath the basket, which will result in a possible 3-point play on that foul by Lim.
And we are down to 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Alan K. Dick makes it 44-37.
Well, a renewal of acquaintances for Kaidik in that last play. Former teammates in the NCC squad, no?
Oh, yes.
Dick Nadise and Samboy Lim, and they did win a championship here in the PBA 85, third
Yes.
conference.
And how many places in the world have they gone to during that stint? So many.
A lot. Oh, Kaidik getting the ball knocked from behind by Samboy.
Samboy with a lay-in. And now, on the other end, we have the Presto Ice Cream Kings trying to trade baskets with San Miguel, something they can ill afford at this juncture. However, they have managed to come back in closer. They were down by as large as 12.
Down to 7 now with still 2 minutes and 18 seconds left.
Ato Agustin, triple V. Nothing there. Tank Collins trying to take on the entire opposition as the only tank on the field of operations.
Why not?
Siguro nakasakay si General Romel sa kanya. Meanwhile, we have a timeout by San Miguel. Okay, thank you very much. A minute and 53 to go, 46-39. I know our coverage reaches as far as to Gegarao in Cagayan, and I'm sure they will be pleased that our director for our first game, Jun Bigan, will be going home this Holy Week, and I understand that there was a death in the family, so condolences are in order. So, back to the action. A lot of people going out of town this Holy Week, I'm sure.
Well, yes. Obviously, to get away from the heat, enjoy the water,
Yes.
and get away from the brownouts.
Miguel Meneses is seeing action for the first time. Triggerman!
Kaidik seems to be in the groove tonight. Now, he has not made a lot of points, but he seems to be getting his shots off now, and with a lot more confidence than in the last few games. So he's slowly getting back into form. We'll have another foul here on Mosqueda. They are in the penalty, so that will mean free throws here for Callaway.
Watch it once more. There is the action. It was away from the basketball. There's that foul. A minute and 5 to go. 48-41 is our tally. Callaway
Missing the first free throw. Still a 7-point lead here for the Beermen. And, well, Callaway had 7 points in the first quarter, had to sit it out for quite a while because of 3 personal fouls. Now has a total of 10 in the ball game.
San Miguel, however, managing to hold on to the fort and establish their biggest lead despite the absence of Callaway. Kaidek. Now, you're right.
You can see the jump. No, it's a different jump that he has from his previous games. And with that kind of shooting, his teammates could wake up, no?
Now that you mention it once more, the jump seems to be a lot lower than before.
But I saw him kick a while ago.
Oh, and
that's his trademark,
that's
you know,
part of-
patent him.
Yes. I remember Ricardo Brown used to complain so much about it.
Yes. They never got to play
Foul,
together.
Kaidik.
No, Ricardo,
I
I
don't
think
think
left
so.
Presto going to San Miguel when Kaidik came in. We'll have a foul on Kaidik. And they are in the penalty, so Callaway will go back to the free throw line.
Meanwhile, B-Boy Romanes, who started off for San Miguel Beer, re-enters the basketball game. Samboy Lim will get a deserved rest. Samboy Lim will make a departure after a contribution of 15 points. 4 of them in the first quarter and 9 more. Checking that, 11 more in the second. Down to the final half minute.
8 seconds differential between a 25-second shot clock and the game clock. Going back to Kaidik there. VERGEL Meneses, and he gets a nice move there against Ato Agustin.
Okay, only 13 seconds before intermission. And just a few minutes more away from KP at the half. Dr. J, of course, will be there to provide his halftime analysis. Meanwhile, lean-in shot by Callaway.
Yeah, San Miguel enjoying an 8-point lead, 53-45. And the pertinent statistics that we pick for you are free throw percentage and number of free throws given. San Miguel given 13 free throws, making 11 for 85%. Presto given only 6, making 5 for 83%. 9 turnovers for Presto, which is not bad, but San Miguel, knowing and you know that they want to win this ball game, down to only 7 turnovers in the first half. Presto had the better of fast break points, 15-8, led, of course, by their import, Tank Collins. Now, we don't have a game at a glance, but we do have some other things that we would like to point out to you. Collins, 19 points, has had good help from Kaidik with 11, so a total of 30 from these 2 players. While on the other hand, Samboy leads San Miguel Beer with 15, 11 in the second quarter, Callaway with 14, total of 29, Fernandez and Agustin 8 apiece. Now, the role players for San Miguel, we have Teng and Dignadice not scoring, but coloring 11 defensive rebounds. Now, going back to what you asked, Catherine, and I agree with you. Obviously, with Callaway having to sit it out for a majority of the second quarter, well, San Miguel went a lot to Samboy Lim, and Presto's defense did not double team him in time. If you notice, Presto up to now, Catherine, has not had one illegal defense called against them. So they were very lax in allowing Samboy Lim to go one-on-one against Peter Howe. All of his shots, all of his points came from the inside and or free throws, except for a jumper from the outside. I think they must realize that in that stage, when Callaway was sitting down, obviously, who was San Miguel going to go to? And you could really pinpoint the players that they were going to go to. Presto has a chance to come back from this 8-point deficit, but it's got to do a good thing on defense on some of the key scoring players of San Miguel Beer. We'll see if that can happen in the third and fourth quarter.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 53-45 is our count at the end of the first half of play. And the lineups on the floor include Agustin, De La Cruz, Rafanes, together with Fernandez and Callaway. The other side is VERGEL Meneses, Esplana, together with Collins, Kaidik. Not Kaidik on the floor right now. It is Ria Lubit, together with Abe King.
Well, Presto ran a new play there, but they were not successful in the execution. There's a one-on-one play here for Meneses, and he gets his 4th point of the ball game.
Meneses had a bucket earlier in the second period.
He saw 2 minutes of playing time in the second quarter, none at all in the first quarter, and obviously will be going full force here in the second half of play.
53-47 count now. Juan Fernandez. Ato Agustin, he's beginning to love those corners.
Well, he's a natural big guard, and that's why he shoots well. You know, there's a place designed for that during his time. Meneses gets the ball. He's isolated here against Rabanes. Might go another one, but this one he doesn't get it to fall. And Callaway rushing out of the pack with the ball.
Callaway waits for the rest of the troops to get into their proper positions. Agustin prepared to give his body as shield, but Callaway decides to go the other way. They're in a trap.
That was not a mismatch. Callaway had no mismatch there against Collins.
Juan Fernandez found the ball in the air, tapped it away, touched it last. We're now down to 10 minutes and 32, 55 to 47.
20 seconds on the shot clock for the Ice Cream Kings. Almost a steal here by Callaway. It will continue to be the ball of the Ice Cream Kings.
And doing the honors is Tank Collins. They're trying to go and set up VERGEL Meneses. They've done so in the last 4 sequences. Aerial voyage is gone.
Going to his left there and still managing to hang in the air against Robanes, cutting the lead down to 6, 55 to 49. I had a talk with him earlier because the vintage locker room was close to the locker room of Presto. And I said, game going down a little bit. He says, never mind, Ninong, I'll come back and show them.
You know, the same thing. I told him the same thing last Tuesday, that he seems to be on a slide. He'll try to get back, as
That
he
happens.
pointed out to you.
That happens.
To the best of them.
Yeah. And we have a reach-in foul called against
Foul,
De La
De La
Cruz.
Cruz.
Presto putting a little bit more emphasis on their defense on the inside game. De La Cruz putting some harassment there on Esplana.
And we are down to inside 10 minutes now. Here's Collins. De La Cruz trying to keep in step. Collins bumped. Shot won't go.
And De La Cruz with good defense gets the defensive rebound too, no? Oops. Oops.
Down. Sneeze.
Callaway keeping that ball alive.
San Miguel has a 12-second shot clock. Callaway is inside and gets it there.
Abby King making one of those mistakes in defense of half fronting and letting that man spin around with the ball in his hands.
More often than not, when Abe King makes that slight error, and which is rare, his man is gone. Like that one, he's gone. He has now a total of 6.
Meneses has been exploiting the quickness that he has on that mismatch
Foul,
against
De La Cruz.
Rabanes, with De La Cruz helping out and giving up the foul. So a 3-point play now for VERGEL. So Ravenna, also a rookie, coming in probably for Rabanes to match up with
Rabanes.
Meneses. No?
No, Andy, I'd just like to correct myself. Meneses already with 8 points. And he's going to possibly get an extra point for this gift shot from the stripe.
That's right. 57-51 here. 2 white shirts contesting that, and it turned out to be a 4-point play in reverse with Ria Lubit putting it up. No?
You know, this game so important for San Miguel. Presto, a little of the pressure has been released. However, Presto would like to act the role as spoiler and possibly move into a battle for 3rd spot. Meanwhile, the penetration by Ato Agustin, a little wild off that try. Defense clawed him that time. Esplana. And referee Chua indicates that there is a foul underneath.
Foul, Ravenna.
Ferdinand Ravenna, Andy.
That's right. Ferdinand Bong Robena giving up that foul.
Former teammates in the amateur ranks, Meneses and Ravenna, pitted against each other. We're down to 14 seconds on the Presto shot clock.
Now that's a lot of time. And a short shot.
Oops. Miscue. Abe King makes sure that that's on the board and in the bucket.
Now San Miguel giving up some turnovers here, allowing the Presto Ice Cream Kings to come back. 57-55 now, just a 2-point advantage for the Beermen.
And a 10-4 run being engineered by Presto Ice Cream. Definitely back into this contest. No, sir. Ria Lubit. Chance now for Presto to tie it all up. They were down by as large as 12. Esplana got it over to Collins.
And a 3-second violation is going to nullify that attempt by Ria Lubit. He bubbled, no? He fumbled, and that cost them the 2 points. Now that split second there, as you take a look at Jimmy Mariano, Jim Kelly, and Nat Flores, who has been a liaison player officer for them for quite a while.
Long time now. familiar fixture on the Presto team bench. Juan Fernandez. Inside, Agustin simply run.
Well, Seb, that is true. Also, if you have a good passer like Fernandez, who is the one acting as the big man there to pass the ball inside, not to the cutters.
Lana gets a layup, 59 to 57, 7 and 13 to go.
Well, Esplana really should continue the kind of game that he had just a couple of nights ago, being Rookie of the Year. But he's really having problems with the speed of Agustin, who misses that layup, however.
Yes, and now Presto with another chance to tie this all up. Drop inside Vergel.
Oh, what a quarter for Vergel.
And we will pause for the San Miguel Beer timeout.
Timeout, San Miguel Beer.
Crowd applauding the fact that Vergel Meneses and Samboy Lim are facing each other that time. Samboy unable to deliver.
Samboy coming into the ballgame for Ravenna as the Presto Ice Cream Kings have tied the ballgame at 59 all. Now it's on the other side.
You know, that lead of San Miguel, which stood at 8 at the end of the first half, simply evaporated.
And Vergel has hit almost everything he has thrown up here in the second quarter to lead the Presto team to a 2-point lead now, 61 to 59.
And as you were mentioning, Andy, only 2 minutes in the first half of play in that second quarter. During that stint, only 2 points, and now he has added 10 more. Juan Fernandez.
Well, he's having a good offensive game, has a total of 10 right now, and he's also been very accurate from the field with his medium-range shots, no?
And he has spread out his offense, netting 6 in the first. And there's under-goal action. It will stay with Presto.
Fernandez.
Fernandez is now being replaced here by Alvin Teng. Coach Norman Black obviously looking for more inside defense, especially on the penetrating moves of this, like this one of Meneses, before that timeout here in the third quarter. Abe King is being replaced by Kaidik as Fernandez has been taken out. King obviously deserves the rest.
Yes. And now Jimmy Mariano sending in more of the lightning forces, with Alan Kaidik now on the hardwood. Esplana will be in charge of ball distribution, decides to go for the whoop. Realubid is underneath, and now Presto overtakes San Miguel.
Realubid, the power off the boards, whether it be defensive, offensive. He's got that lead form, but he's a powerful player and coming with those rebounds.
Keep in mind that San Miguel can ill afford to lose this game, not with the way the race has gone so far. Meanwhile, there's a successful try. Realubid reaching for the sky, guilty of his second personal.
You got to really give credit here to Callaway. This was not an easy drive with two big players on you and actually fouling you and still making the shot off the glass.
De La Cruz.
And now Art De La Cruz moves out, and Yves Dignatice, who had a solid first half, reports back in. Callaway had to sit down a big portion of the first half due to 3 personal fouls. If you just punched in to us, 5 and 12 to go, 63 all is the count, and Callaway can snap this deadlock. With a skip shot, he fails to do so.
Collins takes care of the defensive boards, 63 all. Kaidik
goes to Vergel Meneses. He knows that Vergel has the hot hand.
and the moves.
Yes, and the moves. Vergel is underneath. Aerial acrobatic.
Vergel always had success against Callaway, even in the first time that they met. And that was shown again in this one-on-one play there. Vergel really brewing up a storm here.
Oh, yes, indeed. And the fans enjoying every delicious minute of it. Cut by Teng, no pass from Callaway. Callaway wants to take on Collins, lost his step. Shot is a tad short, rather. Meneses.
Pass was a little bit late.
You know, the crowd, Andy, was already bristling with excitement in anticipation of another aerial voyage, but there was this tap out.
If that pass had gone in earlier, he might have dunked that too. If there was no opposition, he can really get up into the air for those things.
Third quarter has been a Vergel Meneses show thus far. What Norman Black is disappointed over so far is that defensively, San Miguel has not reacted. Meanwhile, Yves Dignatice with a wraparound, there was a foul.
And you see a 6'4" player doing that.
Realubid.
A lot of talent here as Realubid picks up his third personal foul, and that will be the second team foul called against the Ice Cream King. controlling that thing.
And that is when it is useful.
Making the first free throw. Ria Lubit also being given a breather now. Abe King coming back into the ball game after a 2-minute rest there.
San Miguel led at the end of the first period 29-22, and as we mentioned earlier, at the end of the first half 53-45. We're down to 4 minutes and 12 seconds. San Miguel Beer and Presto are tied at 65. We are now in our 7th deadlock.
Kaidik coming out of the pick.
And you can see at the bottom of your screens, at least earlier, the big advantage that Presto is enjoying off the field goal percentage. Meanwhile, Callaway plucks that rebound. Callaway already with 6 recoveries off the board. We have a ball. A tap out.
Tap out there with Esplana reading the moves of Agustin here.
And Abe King ably supporting. We're down to 3 minutes and 44 seconds. First game, first offering on our last day of action before we go into the Holy Week break. Follow-up. Not quite. Teng was all ready to dash off to the other end, and referee by Ledesma has just blown his whistle.
Will be a inbound here for the Beerman. A sorry miss, if there is one, for Alvin Teng, all alone underneath the basket of offensive rebound.
Ives snaps. There's an attempt to follow up. Teng has been unlucky from that sector. He normally hits from there, but the defense has been working on him.
But you can see that the lineup of Presto is very small compared to the lineup of San Miguel. That's why the Beermen have been pounding them off the offensive boards. The 2 big men there are both backing out. That's Abe King and Collins. All the rest are small men compared to Teng and Dignadice.
Teng. San Miguel still in possession. Hold your horses, says referee Bartolome. There's a loose ball foul. Abe King is guilty of his 4th, and let's keep you posted on the number of team fouls. San Miguel has 4, Presto has 3. We will pause for this Presto timeout.
Presto Ice Cream King.
Well, the carnival, the show continues as our excellent performers continue with their high wire acts.
A frontal assault to the basket. Kaidik coming off a pick, missing this jumper. Abe King getting an offensive rebound and missing a fadeaway. Slipping off his hands there.
Yes. Some third quarter numbers. Inside scoring, Presto has had the advantage there. Clearly so, with VERGEL Meneses taking care of business there.
Samboy getting a switch off with Collins now on top of him. Gotta give it up.
Nowhere to go.
Collins wouldn't budge, and Agustin hits a big one. Well, you could call them the catch-and-jammer twins, these 2 scoring tandem here of San Miguel in the backcourt. Agustin and Samboy.
Oh, Ives Dignadice already with his 7th defensive rebound.
And there all of a sudden, a very easy shot for Collins was babied. San Miguel taking a 6-0 run here. Grabs back the lead by 4, and they do have possession of the ball.
Shot clock down to 5.
Foul Collins.
Thank Collins with his first personal foul. We're at the 2-minute mark of this 3rd canto.
Collins fouling Samboy here.
By the way, here's a bit of very good news to all our basketball fans. Ticketing offices. One is at Vintage Enterprises, 105C Palanca Street, Legazpi Village, Makati. And I'm sure Mr. Hawkins, who is not in uniform today, would like to know where the other one is. It is at Doña Nena's Restaurant in Quezon City, Tomas Morato corner, Roses Avenue. For more information, please call up 810-7346.
That's a good substitution here for Jimmy Mariano. His team is not that far behind, even despite the 2 free throws made by Samboy. And Abe King has 4 personal fouls. It would be a good time to rest him and prepare him for the 4th quarter. If they can just stick closer, no? Not really fall behind by a double-digit advantage against San Miguel here in this quarter.
Not now that they've climbed back so superbly in this 3rd. Alan inviting the contact, and the invitation was accepted.
Well, Alan is doing exactly what Adornado used to do in his prime.
Oh, yes.
Maybe what Bernie Bernardo used to do in his prime. And really get you up in there. You can say, don't bite, don't jump, but you will jump.
Yes.
Pag ginanong ka, tatalong ka talaga.
You know, Bernardo used to be such a master at that.
Yeah, Bernie, William Adornado, and Alan is doing this. And all of them are good shooters and all good free throw shooters too, no?
Mukhang trademark talaga ng good shooter. Kahit si Larry Bird meron nun, di ba?
6'9", nagpe-fake pa.
Oo nga. 136, parang kailangan pa. Siyempre sa liga niya iba yan. 71-67.
4-point lead here with Israel picking up Agustin on the outside. Agustin using his speed and getting the 2 points.
And with a tumbling act to boot.
But Collins helps him up. And Agustin accepts the helping hand.
San Miguel with a 6-point lead as we wind down to 1 minute and 10 seconds. Vergel Meneses, stellar attraction of the third, nothing from afar. Alan Caidec with a swipe. However, Ato Agustin picking up that pass. Samboy, Agustin, nothing.
Force play there for Callaway, deep. And he still made it.
Off balance at all. We wind down to 43 seconds. Don't forget, later on tonight, Shell against Alaska in the main game. Padim is open. Yes,
4
shades
points
of
in,
old.
4 points in the ball game.
Director Jin Vigayan is kind of sharp tonight with all these pretty faces being put on our screen.
We have a crowd of about 4,000 to 5,000 here at the NASA.
Yes. Marami rito, bakasyon na, Andy.
Yep.
What gives? We have a foul.
Foul Collins.
Collins in a no situation play there, being called for a hand check foul. Good thing for Presto, they are not in penalty.
Yes. Agustin.
And he makes it. With 6 seconds left here in the third quarter, back to an 8-point lead here on that foul by Israel. Really difficult for Israel to guard an Agustin, who has the advantage of the speed and the zigzagging move, no?
Absolutely, and Ato Agustin beginning to become a wily operator on the floor. Shots we never thought he could put up, he has now included them as part of his arsenal. San Miguel, 78-69, is in front. Hold it. Agustin with a foul.
Well, a foul that they could give up because
Yes, sir.
they're not in the penalty. That would leave 3 seconds left. But of course, Presto now in the scoring position area. No, he will be recalled to the backcourt. So it will have to be a long heave here.
Yes, with only 3 seconds to go. Near steal. Quick turn. It's a triple. And we shall start from Isaiah. Saldi Ray a little bit demonstrating to one and all how to steal candy from a baby. Here's Vergel Meneses. Welcome to the fourth quarter. We are 30 seconds old.
Well, Vergel is becoming ineffective because what Collins is doing is also going on the strong side and posting up. Then Collins tries to get it off to Caidec, who misses the jumper from the outside.
And third quarter, San Miguel lost its 8-point lead. In fact, Presto managed to overtake them.
Even take the lead.
Yes, sir. And what happened to San Miguel's game and how did they recover?
Well, San Miguel played steadier in the last 2 minutes, led by Samboy, Lim, and Callaway, and Agustin, no? Vergel giving up that foul against Samboy, so again, Lim will go to the free throw line. I think it's just an important thing for San Miguel, and I think Coach Norman knows it, is that they concentrate on the game. They don't take the other team lightly, no? Because it's a team that has beaten them twice in the past.
Yes. So definitely they must keep on grinding this axe that they have.
Yes. My son's favorite game. Computer game. Golden Axe for my son Alfred. No, but what I am saying here is that You know, games are not given on a silver platter. You
No
got to
way.
take it away from your other team. No?
Nothing in life is free. Huh?
Okay. Oh, you're right. And except friendship. No?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
here's a legal defense called against
Call away for illegal defense.
First tonight.
Lim.
Fernandez
Agustin.
coming in for Lim, and we had Lopez coming in for Agustin. So Gunners being given a rest here at the start of the fourth quarter.
This is a wayward pass, and even Tan Collins and Ria Lubit cannot understand why that happened.
Collins talking to Ria Lubit, you come out of the pick, and I give you the pass, you don't pick it up. No? And yeah, see, he can hear Jimmy Mariano's voice in the background.
Yes, sir. We are down now, Andy, to 10 and 47. This is our live coverage of game number 1. We shall go also live into our second game, which will feature Shell against Alaska later on. San Miguel aching for a win. That will put them a win short of availing of the 5 or 8 and gain them closer into the finals. Hopefully. Depends on Shell and Alaska as well, and depends on San Miguel. Callaway! Yes!
Yes. Drive down the middle there to give San Miguel a 10-point lead again. 82 to 72. Kaidik will take a 3-point shot. Still can't get it going, partner.
We are experiencing some turbulence on our airwaves. We shall try to remedy the situation as soon as possible.
Wait, are we in the airline? Airplane? What? The rain?
You know, pag sinabi yung sa aeroplano, nakakapit na ako sa ilalim ng silya.
Right.
Long distance miss. And we're down to 9 and 50. 82 to 72. San Miguel with what appears to be now a comfortable 10-point lead.
Real Dubit does something about that with a good pivoting move against Fernandez. Cuts the lead down to 8 with 9:38 left.
Fernandez. Tang.
Breaking that pressing defense wide open there with some crisp passing.
Yes. And Alvin Tang with only his first pair of points.
Sometimes you don't realize how important that is.
Yes. Romy Lopez trying a crossover dribble against Stan Collins. Ball is knocked away. Abe King is going to re-enter the ball game. Alan K. Dick,
Huffing and puffing.
will move out momentarily. And 9:07 to go.
Lopez is not a natural point. That's why Esplana is really trying to contest him when he makes that dribble from backcourt to front court.
And Romy Lopez trying to check Esplana, giving up that personal foul.
Foul Lopez.
It's a good foul. Esplana would have gone by him with that move, would have had a layup now with the other teammates still far behind.
And something that San Miguel would not like, as far as Presto is concerned, to get them off and running to another burst. Meanwhile, Abe King with an awkward, off-balance, but nonetheless effective shot.
It was a tight pass given by Esplana. So Presto still very much in the ball game.
Callaway trying to spin away from Esplana. Trying to look for a man inside. Ives was there, but there was also an arm. Could be the arm of Israel.
Correct.
Foul Israel.
Second personal foul on Padim. 2 team fouls called against Presto.
We're down to 8 minutes and 27 seconds.
Still a lot of basketball minutes ahead of us.
Juan Fernandez. What a pass. What a cut by Ives.
Well, you know, that cut is designed by a play, you know, and that is practiced by the team. you know.
Yes.
First there was the cut by Alvin Teng, covered up by the defensive player, and then the Ives Vigdalisa cuts in.
And as we were mentioning as early as the first quarter, San Miguel they have mastered their game book, their playbook.
Foul Lopez.
Lopez giving up another foul there against Esplana. Yes, that is what you get when you play many years with each other, and when you have a coach like Norman who studies the defense of the other team, so he does something about it now when he sets his plays.
You know, it falls so naturally. You know, you don't even know the signal is coming. Meanwhile, there is a foul.
On the drive against
Foul
Collins.
Lopez.
Lopez giving up the foul, and a three-point play, Seb, coming up here for Tank Collins.
That's right. Of the third personal foul of Romy Lopez, number of team fouls, San Miguel Beer has been charged with 3. On the other hand, Presto has accounted for 2. We're down to 8 minutes and a second, 5-point lead.
Make no mistake about it. Presto giving San Miguel
In major scare here.
Yes. Lopez really having problems even crossing that half line, no? And then he's got to stop that dribble.
No
which
choice.
Is, which
no
is
choice
what the
for
point guard
that's
wants.
Right.
No?
No choice now for Norman Black, since Ato Agustin has no other reliever also. Agustin is down on the bench. He needs some breathing minutes also. 7:41 to go.
And now a very important play here for Presto. They make another run here on that lead of San Miguel.
Oh, Isplana straight and true, but the ball decided to jump out of the hoop.
Dignadice going out of the floor.
Fernandez looking at the inside, no cutter. Alvin Tang begging for it. Yves Dignadice being checked by the doctors, although from afar for the time being. Seems to be okay. Meanwhile, there's a conversion, and San Miguel stretches its lead to 7.
Lopez responsible for that one.
Spread out offense, and it's going to be
illegal defense.
It will be a technical now.
Technical foul, San Miguel Beer, 10 for illegal defense.
And talking
Lopez.
about technical problems, for the record, and PBA history will reveal that we are currently off the air. That we are off the air for the time being, but we shall continue with our coverage. Channel 4 experiencing some transmissions and transmitter problems.
86, 80, 88, 82 is the count.
Vergel Meneses, star of the third, continues to do so here in the fourth.
Well, Jimmy Mariano gave him 3-4 minute rest that he needed. You see, Kaidik is also resting now, and Jimmy Mariano is preparing for the eventual down-the-wire game here,
Yes.
the end game.
You know, that is part and parcel of coaching, knowing when to give your firepower some rest. Meanwhile, Ato Agustin, who has gotten his rest, misses that shot, however.
Plana asking for the ball as an outlet. Sidestepping more there by Collins.
And Collins manages to cut down the San Miguel lead to just 2. Callaway working on the outside. Yves Dignadice begging for the ball. He can sense a mismatch, but Callaway can't get it to him. Inside to Ato Agustin, nothing there. And nothing there as well.
Dignadice.
We will pause for this timeout.
Timeout, San Miguel Beer.
Half of the fourth quarter has gone by. San Miguel again being threatened here. The ball is on the line. Norman Black in a state of disbelief, but by Ledesma,
He was right there.
Yes, sir.
He saw that.
Maybe, Mr. Black, your shoe was covering me just a bit, but not entirely.
I saw that play. 88-86 to the count. Still a 2-point lead here for San Miguel Beer, who's got to recall Samboy Lim back to action.
Yes.
Every time they're in trouble, they go to Samboy. What a shot here by Meneses, but he can't get it to fall. And a big break for them.
That's Collins. No!
Frustrated that he couldn't get a 3-point play coming up for himself.
Had everything there.
Foul, De La Cruz.
De La Cruz will be charged with a personal, his 4th. 5:31 remaining.
San Miguel Bear now has 14 fouls compared to 2. Collins long on the first free throw.
Norman Black had a very long one-on-one discussion with Samboy Lim before he dispatched him in. Now Samboy Lim back in harness, pulling out Alvin Tang. Now the lead of San Miguel, a measly 1 point.
Severely threatened by the determined Presto Ice Cream Kings crew.
Oops! Fernandez was fouled, but Collins crashed to the floor.
Real Lubit picking up his 4th foul there.
Okay, we shall now pause for this timeout. We'll be right back.
Timeout, Presto Ice Cream Kings.
Five minutes and 20 seconds remaining. San Miguel Viejo just barely above the water with a 1-point lead as we enter the last 5 minutes of this ball game. Callaway. Mr. Collins looking at referee Barney Desma.
Picks up his 3rd foul. And I'll mean 2 free throws here for Callaway.
Still trying to find out what he did.
What he didn't do. Or what
he did or didn't
what
do.
was he supposed to have done.
By the way, 14 fouls have been slapped against each side. Ball game now stands at 89-87.
2-point lead here. Presto having the opportunity to equalize on this offensive play. High pick here.
Collins. Gerald Desplana snaps. Wing shot won't go. Rebound being contested by nobody else but Ramon Fernandez. But Augustine halting quickly. Fernandez dancing with Real Lubit. Callaway dance in the air.
3 straight points here for Callaway gives them a 4-point lead. 91-87 is the count now.
Yeah, some cushion points. And as much as the lead of San Miguel was severely, as you mentioned, severely threatened. Here's Plana. Plana trying to look for a gunner to go to. They go now to Collins. They have a 6-second shot clock. And there is a blocking foul.
Odron de la Cruz. That was a good break here as we take a look at the Rhea Bantas break play of the day.
That is what you call creating elbow room. Here's Meneses. Samboy is on top of him. VERGEL, Meneses. Rhea Lubit. And somebody was brushed aside.
Well, with 2 big bodies there like Rhea Lubit and Abe King, some are bound to fall.
Final 3 minutes and 52 seconds.
It's been a tough game. Huh?
Yes, it has been tough from all angles. Samboy. Big Nadise was just about ready to come in.
Hey, I'm not just included in the live action here. We're giving the ball to me out here.
And that's a miscue by the beer man. 3 and 42 to go. 91-89. King. Esplana. Shot clock down to 10. Esplana layup. Too strong. Callaway clears. Samboy Lim leading this 2-on-3. Collins giving up his 4th personal foul.
No choice to stop Samboy who was zigzagging his way en route home.
Look at this. You know, the slow-mo doesn't really tell you the story, especially as far as the speed element is concerned. That's why it's called slow-mo.
Oh, and Samboy gets back that almost a bad pass.
Yeah!
Nice pass here by Samboy, saving the day there. Counter interception and giving off a good.
Collins, double team clamped down on him. This ends up into Clyde Mariano's hands. Clyde Mariano, of course, sports writer for Temple. I think that's Howie Basilio also over there.
Clyde Mariano, completely, directly opposite Jimmy Mariano in that play.
Well, Clyde the Glide couldn't do anything about that one. Loose ball foul underneath. Authoritatively called by referee Bartolome.
Is Abe King picking up his fifth foul. Esplana picking up that foul, holding Agustin down. No? Third personal foul. And that will be the 16th foul called against Presto.
Two minutes and a half. Samboy Lim has Abe King there. Abe King moving. Guilty now his fifth. Abe King with his own play-by-play, you can hear it.
But he was moving into the path of a guy who had the right of way there.
Absolutely.
And he was behind. Samboy making the first free throw. A good night for him.
Absolutely. And it's 95-89. San Miguel Beer managing to pour cold water on every uprising of Presto so far.
Defense is the key there. They have halted the offensive game of Presto every time out. Except for this one because they gave up the foul.
Investing the DC guilty of his second personal foul. The Presto Ice Cream Kings already in penalty. On the other hand, San Miguel, a team foul short of entering that zone. Collins takes care of the first.
95-90. 5-point lead. Still a long way to go with
Yes,
2 minutes
sir.
and 10 and a 4-point lead for San Miguel Beer.
That 4-point lead, not exactly the safest of advantages as we wind down to the last 2 minutes.
Last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes.
Last 2 minutes, hatid sa inyo ng Emperador Brandy. Dito na tayo sa totoo, Emperador Brandy.
Fernandez getting himself into trouble. There's the foul by Callaway. That fourth foul, but a good foul because it's not
Yeah.
the shooting foul.
Pero sa biglang tingin nito si Callaway, ang buhok halos pareho nung kay Dominic Wilkins. Doesn't fly as high as the human highlight film.
No, he can't.
No, he can't.
That's a different class, but
Okay.
my apologies to him. No? He's a good player, but he's not in that same. Here's another foul given up against Ignatius, I think. No, it's on Samboy who tried to help out Ives in that play. Hi, Butch. Ayun. Collins making the free throws here. Missing the second, there will be a jump as two men enter the lane too soon. So it's the 3-point lead for the Beermen.
Again, for the record, this game experiencing a lot of technical problems.
Although if we're taping it, some teams might borrow it.
Yes, definitely, and the PBA will definitely review this. And for the future, this might just qualify as a member of the best of the PBA gallery.
3-point lead, but Presto has the ball. 3-point lead for San Miguel.
Oh! Alan Dick clearly marked by Samboy Lim.
Another good interception by Samboy. Another key play. And this one, a defensive play, not an offensive play. Look at him come out, tap the ball out. There's Dick holding on to Samboy.
And Dick knew it. He looked skyward after that foul was committed. And we should look inward in as much as we have a timeout.
Timeout, San Miguel Beer.
87-92. Samboy Lim has now been lifted by Norman Black.
For Ravanes, who is in there for defensive purposes, he wants to put a stop to Presto's offensive game at this end.
There's Stan Collins. They might be thinking of a quick two, but this is taking much too long as there is a foul spotted by referee Chua. Both teams, by the way, in penalty already. Each side with 2 more timeouts to call. Fernandez with 4.
That's right. Giving up that foul, and Collins, who has been visiting this area, in the previous plays. Now has another 2 big gift shots. And he misses the third.
Norman Black was hollering at his bench. Where is SAMBOY? Situational substitution now.
He's going on the offensive end, and he doesn't have to call out. No?
Collins only 6 of 9 from that sector. They've got 6 of 10. Alan Kaidik, however, with a quick recovery, sends it outside to Esplana. Triggerman for a triple.
Kaidik, 3 points.
By the way, that fan reacted. Could have been a San Miguel fan agonizing over that one. We'll be right back. A totally different ball game has ensued here.
Just a 2-point lead with 56 seconds left. And there was a substitution, Padim Israel coming in for Kaidik. Jimmy Mariano hoping to get a good defensive stop here. But then he will not have Kaidik on the ball game if there is that defensive stop, no? Unless, because you can't call a timeout here unless there's a dead ball situation.
Okay, Norman Black opting to inbound from the far end. We're down to 47 seconds. Agustin. Ramon Fernandez. Shot clock is down to 8. Fernandez twirling, missing. Referee Chua will call a foul on.
Realubit, I think.
You got it right, Andy.
He entangled Fernandez in this play, holding him down there on the shoulders.
And now crucial gift shots for Ramon Fernandez. Fernandez takes care of the first. Trying to hold on to his right shoulder area.
Lim
being replaced here by Rabanes. Kaidik and Meneses coming in for Israel and Esplana. 98-95.
Presto with 2 more timeouts to call. Mon Fernandez takes care of that one.
After this move, you have to move here. Sit the ball here. Okay. We got 36 seconds. No? We got 36 seconds. Pagka na-inball mo rito, Alan. Okay? Umikot ka rito. Ha? Umikot ka. And then, Ed, kung ikaw to, balikan mo si Alan. Ha? 3 points? 3 points? Hindi 3 points. Basta what we need here is a quick basket. Okay. Quick basket is what we got only 2 points lang yan. 2 points na tayo. Pareho ng penalty. No, you pop out. Okay, basket. Yeah. You pop out here. Open ka rito. Here, I'm go here. Open ka rito. Alright? Pagka na-receive nitang dito. Open. Open, yeah. Tama yan. Come on, guys. Straight up. Quick basket. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's very sound there to make a quick basket, because if you can shoot before the 30-second mark or 29, then you can come back and play good defense and still have enough time for a shot, no? Of course, diskarte na rin yan nila Kaidik. If we can get a 3-point shot, which is a dead pass, why not, no?
Yes, sir. We'll bring them in closer. This is the play.
Oh! He will take. And that'll be a 6-point lead all of a sudden, and another timeout.
You know, they had planned everything except that steal. Look at it once more.
Dignadice reaching in there and making that scamper. And the look of determination on his face, huh?
Okay. And it is San Miguel's basketball.
Back to the offensive players now as they make a miscue in the throw-in.
This is quickly freshening out to become like a football game, American football game, Andy. The defensive team has done its job. The offensive team is back on the line of scrimmage.
Okay, San Miguel obviously will take its time, use the clock. Presto not yet giving up the foul.
At Agustin zigzagging through that maze. Dignadice. And now they give it up.
Well, they picked the guy that they wanted to foul. They didn't want to foul Agustin. They wanted to get it Dignadice.
Foul, Meneses.
They didn't want to foul SAMBOY either. Meneses giving up the foul. makes the first free throw to give them a 7-point lead. All of a sudden, Presto crumbling in the end game.
Yes, they managed to play a very strong game in the third. And Investignadise giving them, San Miguel, that is, more cushion points.
Meneses eluding Agustin, getting an easy layup for himself, but there is still time, 7 seconds. 6-point lead.
Ives making sure he gets a safe inbound, and Samboy Lim is fouled.
So 2 free throws here for Samboy. Samboy has had a good night.
Yes, sir. And San Miguel looks like it's on its way.
Its 11th win.
To its 11th win, and will leave them a win short of that 5 of 8 incentive.
You know, being 11, too tough. Now, Shell and Alaska knows it's got to get to 11 also, no? And that's going to be a big order. And they're going up against each other.
And it's a first world championship game early on. It will not count, but nonetheless fantastic. What a game San Miguel Beer has played with Samboy Lim and Investignadise at the anchor. Presto dropping 105 tonight.